Hello and welcome to the Think Share. My name's Zach, here to bring to you thinking about, sharing about, talking about, listening to, reading about that doesn't belong in math class to make you the goodest version of yourself. Today I wanted to talk a little bit about my marriage and a really good reflection I had today about it. So, you know, from time to time I talk a bit about my marriage and my relationship with my wife Alyssa, and a really positive moment that I was able to reflect on today was there was this moment. What was it that we were talking about? We got in this really silly, goofy. It wasn't like a fight or anything. It wasn't a tickling match, but it was like a we were sort of tackling each other like onto the bed and then onto the couch. They're just like kind of like wrestling, but like totally half-heartedly. I was just laughing so hard I started crying at some point. And we were talking about crop circles and how she'd read a little bit about crop circles and what they were, and what I was gathering from what she was saying about crop circles was that they're a totally unexplained thing that is it's sort of kept from the public on some level. So I don't really know much about them, but I always thought crop circles were more of a thing in the movies. I didn't realize that they actually happened. So either way, we're sort of brainstorming, and I was saying like, well, what if I wouldn't doubt it if it were extraterrestrials talking with us, or what if it's our future selves or something trying to communicate with us like an interstellar, although it's real life, so it's a little freakier talking about that. But at some point I was saying like, maybe that should be my new logo for the ThinkShare. And she was like, no, don't do that. And at some point I was like, you know what? If you're gonna tell me what to do, like I'm just gonna want to do it more. Like don't tell me what to do. And I was saying literally, don't tell me what to do, like a freaking child. And she's like, you don't know. Like, say this is communication from whoever. You don't know if they're positive or negative messages. So it's like when you start speaking someone else's language and then you're saying swears in their language, but you don't know it. Like that's kind of an issue. And so at some point, that was like a real short synopsis of it, but the conversation lasted maybe like 10 minutes or something, and within it, there was a variety of emotions that came up. It was sort of like me being upset, me being like feeling like my ego is sort of being challenged, and so I challenged her back. One of them for her was just really concerned, like don't poke a bear if you don't like don't poke a giant furry thing because you don't know if it's a bear. Um, so like hers was concern. She had moments where she was concerned for me, where she was also sort of mad at me, like don't when I was telling her don't tell me what to do. There's moments where she's like, why is he being like such a child about this? So we kind of kept going back and forth, going through a lot of these emotions, and towards the end of it, I think we were able to see each other's side of it. So I was annoyed that she was just telling me what to do, where I think I would have been fine if she had said, "Well, Zach, why would you want to have that as your logo?" And if I were to explain it, and she were able to say, you don't know what those things mean. You don't know if they're good or bad, or you have no idea what they mean. So why not have a logo that is aligned with your message and your intention? And I think I've been like, oh, that's true. I didn't think of them as possibly being something that's angry or has some malice or maliciousness to it. And after that, uh, she also, I pointed out that I wish she had gone about the conversation sort of in that manner. And there was this other moment where I think I understood where she was coming from, where she got really nervous because she knows I get excited about ideas that I don't fully understand, and I go to maybe not implement them, but like I get excited and I just do stuff. And she was concerned I was gonna take some actions that people, or something or someone or whoever created these messages like wouldn't like, and that could be a bad thing for me and for someone that she loves. So it took me a little bit of time to discover that um, she was actually kind of looking out for me. So I think the really beautiful part of it all though was we were able to end the conversation on a equal note. We were able to understand where both of each other were coming from. I apologized for getting so heated about it. She apologized for getting so heated about it, and we got to a common ground. And I said, and this happened like one other time during the day about something totally different, where it started with comment. Someone got a little bit emotional about it. We had a maybe 5-10 minute conversation, and then it again ended in us understanding each other. I think that so many couples out there are not recognizing the value of having these kind of conversations. They're just concerned that if there is any kind of confrontation in a relationship, that it's bad. And I like to think of it like this, is when you're having a relationship, if you're not fighting about stuff, or if you're not having these confrontational conversations sometimes, your relationship's probably not growing, because that means you're probably hiding things from each other. So if you think about going to the gym, right? Let's say you're lifting some weights, just the classic, like you're lifting dumbbells. If at some point you're about to hit a point where it's like, ooh, this is a little bit tough, I can feel a strain here. If you put the weights down at that moment, then you stop the possible growth that's about to happen. So the idea of muscles is that they get bigger because you're ripping apart muscles that already exist, and what's happening is they're gonna build some scar tissue over it to make, and then that's what actually makes it bigger. It's scar tissue. It's your body ripping something apart and then healing itself. And I think that that's what relationships are really made out of. They're made out of confrontations where you grow to understand each other, like skin healing over. You come to a common ground, you understand each other, you appreciate each other. You're back to that sort of state of loving them unconditionally after the conversation, and it's healed, and it grows a little bit bigger every time. And I think that people think that there shouldn't be any kind of confrontation in a relationship, and that if you're having that's bad. So that would be like going to the gym, putting the weights down every single time it starts to hurt. Versus one of the things that myself and Alyssa do is we let them happen. We make sure that if they happen, that we finish off the exercise. So when it comes to lifting weights, like right after you're done and you're getting, and it's burning, it's hurting, and you're like, oh, I don't know if I can hang on much longer, and you keep going. I mean, that would be like really digging and making sure you get everything out of that conversation, no matter how tough it is. Like, you know, maybe you've dug up some stuff and you think there might be a little bit more to dig up and share with your partner, your girlfriend, your boyfriend. That's that part where you're just digging deep and you're saying, no, I got this, come on. So in the metaphor, it's like you're trying to lay everything out there so that everything that's going on inside of your brain is like getting aired out and can be healed. If you don't express it, if you don't have that conversation about it, it can't be healed over. So that's the digging deep part. And then, you know, after you work out, if you just go have water, or if you just go don't do anything, if you don't do anything to try to heal the relationship, or if you go straight into a workout where you're using your arm in that way. So that would be similar to if you have the tough part of the conversation, then do nothing to heal it at the end. Or if you just go into having more tough conversations, that's where the healing is not going to happen. You don't want it to be a continuous fight. You want to end it so that you can heal it over. And at the same time, you know, you want to make sure that you have the end of that conversation. So if it's bedtime, you know, we've experienced this since 2013 when we started dating. If you start having an argument at 12 o'clock, sometimes you just got to finish the conversation. You got to finish the argument. You got to get to the common ground that really allows people to heal. So if you're having conversations with a spouse or a partner, have the whole conversation. Don't stop it because it starts feeling uncomfortable. Don't not finish it because it's 2 a.m. and it's time to go to bed and fall asleep so that you can perform tomorrow. Because if your relationship that is, for most people, their relationships are the one promise that they make till the end of their lives, then what have you really got? Who cares if you're making a sales call tomorrow that's gonna be $1 million if the number one relationship and promise in your life is not looking good? I would much rather make sure to stay up till 2 or 3 or 4 a.m. If it ever takes that long, which, once you get good at it, these things don't take longer than 10 or 20 minutes. Although sometimes when you're sleep deprived, they take a bit longer, and sometimes you gotta say, hey, I'm waking up at 5 or 5:30, like maybe we finish this in the morning, but make sure that it ends. Make sure the healing happens. Make sure you drink the protein shake after you have the workout. Make sure you have the item and you do the action that is gonna make the confrontation in the workout worth it. So the moment of pride was just recognizing that that's what we do with pretty much all of our conversations. We never let them go more than, I don't think, I think the longest we've ever done maybe 48 hours, but that's one of the reasons I said in my book why I think my relationship with my wife worked really well and I was able to propose in 93 days is because myself and her, we were working these things out every day. I think your average relationship is too afraid of confrontation. You have one once a week and it doesn't fully heal. And I think we were doing that on the daily when we first started dating for the first 3 months. So hope this is valuable. If you got anything out of this and you think someone else would get something out of it, share it with a friend. Give it a like if you like this. Thank you for watching. Stay wild, humans. Thank you. Rah.